link in Squarespace for sponsoring this video.
If you think that living in an overlanding camper van like this is impressive, imagine stripping everything back, all the luxuries, all the what I would consider necessities, to swap it out for two very simple, kind of not very powerful motorbikes, and traveling the entire world on those for years and years and years. But in particular, the last few months traveling on a 50cc bike, exploring Australia. This is the story of the next FreeHuman episode couple, Bea and Helmut. Bea and Helmut are from Time to Ride, and this is a German couple that have been traveling the world for the last 5 years on motorbikes specifically. They love motorbikes, and they just downgraded recently to much weaker motorbikes to showcase that you don't need anything too luxurious to make crazy memories and have crazy adventures, and you don't have to have a big budget either. Their whole idea is to showcase like, hey, just pack up, just go. If life doesn't feel exactly aligned for you right now, there are different ways to do it, and you don't need to break the bank in order to live an extraordinary life. So I hope you enjoy this beautiful episode of FreeHuman with this inspiring couple.
My name is Helmut Koch, very German. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Bea.
Age.
Well, the young girls around, I'm officially 31, but honestly, I'm 43.
41.
Describe the journey.
Ooh, crazy journey. Crazy journey. I think that fits.
We are traveling, or we are challenging ourselves, facing Australia's toughest Outback tracks with a vintage 50-year-old 50cc Kreidler Florett moped. It's a 69 model, which means it's 55 years old, 50cc, roughly 6 horsepower, so we tweaked the engine a little bit. Back in Germany, they were good to do 40 kilometers an hour, and as I said, we tweaked the engine, and I carry different kinds of sprocket, different sizes. So for the long, straight roads, we put a bigger sprocket in there, and that means we can do like 70 kilometers an hour roughly. And for the tough tracks, like the old tele track right now, we have a very small sprocket, so it has heaps of power. Well, that's a bit exaggerated, but it has power. So we don't have to, well, we had to push it.
Previous occupation.
I'm actually a mechanical engineer back at home.
Originally, I studied environmental engineering.
Everything that's kind of complicated, complex, whatever, I would love to, or I love to take apart and have a look how it's working.
Why are you doing this?
Well, in 2011, we've sold all our belongings back in Germany, and the idea was to travel around the world on a motorcycle. Back then we had bigger motorcycles, 600cc V-twins, Hondas.
We felt like we want to be on the road again because we've been traveling the world on motorcycles for over 5 years already.
And we just were curious. We wanted to see the world, what it's all about. And in the end, the idea was to travel for 2 years. And in the end, it took roughly well over 5 years until we returned back home.
Being on the road felt like home for a very long time. Our second home being on the road is something we really missed the last couple of years. So we wanted to be very basic again and just living on the road.
That's why we said at one point, we've been back home now for a couple of years in Germany. We need to go again, and this time with a different challenge. Well, I upgraded the electronic system, 12 volt. We can charge everything off the bike, the whole camera stuff, and that's a lot, I can tell you. 2 drones, big camera, the action cams on the helmets and so on, microphones. So we can all charge it from the moped, that was a challenge itself. And other than that, the Kreidler is pretty much stock, how they came out back in '69.
Whose idea was this?
I wanted to travel Australia. Helmut said if we travel, he wants to travel on a motorcycle, and so somehow it all fitted together at some point.
Did you ride a motorcycle before meeting Helmut?
I made my license when I was 18, but I never rode until maybe I was 28 when we became partners, and then I really started.
What gave you the courage to pursue this unusual life?
Back in Germany, I would say we grow up with a big safety idea.
Since I was little, I wanted to do different, or my interests and things have been slightly different to like the average interests.
You make your school, you make an apprentice, you study, you get a job, work for the same company most time of your life, I would say. You have a house there and so on.
Only when I met Helmut and we together made the plan about this motorcycle travel around the world, being together with him and his like experience in technical stuff and things gave me the confidence to really do it, I think.
So it's actually a bit unusual what we've done, traveling the world and leaving everything behind.
Another thing which is really important for us, we want to be as off-grid as possible. Like Helmut said, we can charge all our electronic gear on the bike, and we can also live like off-grid for maybe, let's say, a week. We do carry a water filter, so as long as we do have fresh water which we can filter, we can carry like food for about at least a week, maybe even longer. So this is very important for us. So on the tele track we spend a couple of days just enjoying ourselves, and that makes the travel so much different. We also have like complete camping gear, tent, sleeping bags. We have a little fuel cooker for the morning coffee, very important. So we literally have everything we need.
How long did you plan to live like this?
I think as long as it feels like it's the thing we want to do.
We can feel that having a base is nice as well.
Not to live there permanently, but just to have a place where you can come back, close the door behind you and feel at home for a while before we feel like the road's calling again.
I don't know, I think we're gonna travel as long as we love it, and maybe there's a place on earth we feel right at home and then we stay there.
Do you miss a normal bed?
I would lie if I would say no, because sometimes I really do miss it. But then if we have it for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, I do miss the freedom of being on the road. So I think for me, the change between the comfort and the freedom is a great way.
How does minimalism to this degree feel?
I always thought the biggest freedom in life is riding a motorcycle towards the sunset without a plan and just staying wherever you want to. But actually pretty quick being on the road, we found out this is actually not the biggest freedom. The biggest freedom is to just have the things you really need in life, because that gives you time for living.
We have no fridge, of course, but if you buy the right food, it really lasts. Like we have a lot of oats for breakfast, we have dried fruits, and also a lot of veggies stay fresh. So of course we can't have fresh meat or this kind of stuff, but still I try to cook every day and try to cook as healthy as possible so we can also stay fit during the travel.
How do you fund this?
It was never the idea to do this kind of nomadic lifestyle and work combined. So it was actually really just traveling. But as I fell in love with photography, a kind of job developed. So magazines came to us and said, well, would you love to write a story? Your pictures are amazing, you write good text, that's Bea's part. Would you love to write a story? And then we said, well, why not? And so it kept going and going. And as I'm a technical enthusiast, I developed a couple of products during our travel, and we started an online shop and we've sold these products as well, and that actually funded our travels. And it's a dream job, it's a hard job as well. You have to work many, many hours as you do when you're self-employed, but it's our passion and that drives us. And is there anything better than this? Well, that fulfills you.
Is this lifestyle expensive?
Actually, a lot of people think that traveling is very expensive, and of course it can be depending on your style of travel. But because we only travel very basic, like sleeping in a tent most of the time, it's actually quite affordable and in the end even cheaper than being back home, I would say.
What about the career ladder?
Back home career is very important, but the interesting thing is a lot of people define their life with their career.
The biggest point on the career ladder is being happy and confident. So if you meet people, they literally have a basic house, a couple of animals, and you talk to them and immediately you can feel that they are absolutely happy. Then they have achieved everything you can achieve in life. And I'm jealous because I'm not there yet, I would say. Being
successful in something or being very rich, earn a lot of money with something, doesn't mean you live a happy and fulfilled life. So I think you shouldn't too much think about a career, but more of a fulfilled life should be the goal.
Can anyone do this?
I think everyone could.
Many people thought we were doing something really extraordinary.
The freedom that comes with this kind of travel also comes with a price you have to pay. And the price can be having no shower for a week, or being covered in dust, or it's hot, or it's raining, and you're outside all day long. So you really have to commit.
You know, if you get a new job and a new task, at the first it looks very hard to achieve it. But if you get thrown onto this challenge, you get into it, you do research, and then you start, and eventually it's easy. And that's the same with traveling around the world. You know, you go there, you solve the problem as they turn up, and that's a next step further, and that's actually the same with life.
But in the end, everyone could live it if he or she chooses to. Definitely.
It's a 12-liter tank, good for roughly 350 kilometers, which is actually not too bad. We've got different sizes of bags, so we can carry electronic stuff, camping gear, food, water, extra fuel, whatever. Tools as well in here. Tank bag, which is pretty handy, of course, for wallet or whatever personal items. And in this case, I built a front rack because we needed more weight in the front. The engine is very light itself, so the bike, when it's loaded up, feels a bit of wobbly. So we decided to build a front rack, and of course we needed more room for our gear. The bags, they look a lot, but they're very tiny, so roughly like the rear bag is each 18 liters or something, so it's not very big. So we decided to put some more bags in the front, which turned out very, very well.
Tip for someone wanting to break out of their life?
I think the first step is the most difficult one.
If you want to go running, put on your running shoes and everything else will be easy.
But finding the courage to do the first step is the most important thing, I would say. The bikes themselves, they look very special, but of course the paint is another thing. I think you love it or you hate it, but we really love it. It's like real rust. It's metal particles, little ones, that started to rust, and they were coated like with a clear paint, and now it's like if you touch it, it's really rough, and we just love it. It fits perfect, and for Australia with the red dirt, it's just, yeah, the perfect colors. We really love it.
Are you a free human?
I'm for sure not a free human because of my minds. Our mindset is the major thing that puts us in a kind of prison.
I think I'm still working on it.
And there's this beautiful saying, if someone comes up and says, this is not possible, then it's his limits, not yours. And that's very true. So everyone pretty much can achieve everything he wants, but you have to work hard for it, you have to believe in it, and you have to do it.
It's very hard not to get influenced by the society while trying to find your own way. Because your own way may not make sense for anyone else, but as long as it makes sense for you, then it's the right way.
So that was an interview in German-English, or in English with a perfect German accent. So,
Good job. Loved it.
Thank you very much. It was awesome.
Well, really, in German, it would be so much easier, because to find, there are really deep questions, and to find the right words in not your mother language is really tough.
If you enjoyed this episode of FreeHuman, make sure that you like and subscribe. Plenty more where that came from. I just want to inspire people to live their best lives and live unconventional lives, because the stereotypical, you need to live like this, is kind of boring. So just showing what is possible if you would like to break out and try something different, and hopefully the stories of the other free humans have inspired you to just seek what your own free life really looks like.
Shout out now to the amazing Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. You guys are magnificent. Tool for business owners and artists like myself to have a beautiful online presence that actually gets results. So excited to tell you about some features that I personally love. We have Design Intelligence, introducing Design Intelligence from Squarespace, combining 2 decades of industry-leading design expertise with cutting-edge AI technology to unlock your strongest creative potential. Design Intelligence empowers anyone to build a beautiful, more personalized website tailored to their unique needs and craft a bespoke digital identity to use across one's entire online presence. Squarespace Payments. Squarespace Payments is the easiest way to manage your payments in one place with Squarespace. Onboarding is fast and simple. Get started with just a few clicks and start receiving payments right away. Plus, give your customers more ways to pay with popular methods like these ones. That's a lot. Sell content. Squarespace makes it easy to sell access to content on your website, like online courses, blogs, videos, and memberships. Earn recurring revenue by gating your content behind a paywall. Simply set up a price and choose whether to charge a one-time fee or subscription for access. You know what to do. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you are ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Sorel to get 10% off your first website or domain. Thank you so much, Squarespace, for sponsoring this video. And to you watching, thank you so much. See you next time.